What's going on, family? Welcome to the Still Becoming podcast. I'm your host, Chantel Scott, and we are in a space where we can have real, raw, authentic, unfiltered talk. And I'm so glad you're here. Today's episode, I hope it resonates with you, and I hope you learn something from it. So, what is the Still Becoming podcast? Let's jump into that just in case you're new here. The Still Becoming podcast is a space where we can talk like friends. And if you're not a friend, you will be at some point in this process. But if you're not a friend, we're here to talk about love, loss. We're here to talk about evolution. We're here to talk about becoming people that we have been meant to become in God's eyes and the people that we're striving to become. So thank you. Pull up a chair. Let's talk. This is kind of like spades without the flipping of the tables. So you don't gotta worry about that happening here. We're here to have a good time and have some real good conversation. This episode is going to be Still Grieving, Lost in the Season of Joy. And I really want to get into this because I've been seeing videos all across Instagram that have been tugging at my heartstrings, that have been resonating with me, and I know I'm not the only one. I want to start off by saying, if you've lost someone in this season, if you've lost someone around this season, my heart goes out to you and your family. I can relate. I am in that season as well, where I have lost a significant loved one around this time of year, and we're going to get into a little bit of that tonight. And I just want to send my condolences and send warmth and love and light to you and your loved ones in this difficult season. Look, there's no playbook to grief. And if anybody knows, that is me. But tonight, I really just want to go through and talk a little bit about what grief looks like in the season of joy. When you feel empty, when you feel like parts of you are missing, what do we do? How do you handle it? And I want to hear from you too. It's not just me talking. I want to hear from you as well. So let's get into it. So, still grieving, lost in the season of joy. So I'll just start off by acknowledging that seasonal depression is a real thing. And I know when the weather changes and it gets cold, I don't know about your December, but it's been cold here in Texas. And I don't know really much about SADS, but that's a real thing. And if you're experiencing that, it's really good to put a name on it. Put a name on it, pin it so that you know it's not just you. Several of my loved ones are dealing with SADS. I can think of a face right now, a loved one that is dealing with it and has been very open and honest about her experiences with SADS, and it's a true thing. So if you feel that way, it's not just you. It's truly a thing that's happening to all of us. I deal with it as well. I hate when the sun goes down at 4 o'clock. I feel like, oh my goodness, it feels like you just don't have enough daylight. And it's true, you don't have enough daylight. So if you're in that space where you feel like you're being affected by the weather, or you're being affected by the seasons, truly tap into the things that you love that get you out of the house. You cannot sit in the house. You have to move. That is the key to defeating depression or anxiety. You have to move. And sometimes that's as simple as taking a walk. I know it's cold. I know most of y'all that are probably watching this, if you are African American, and even if you aren't, if you got the hair that reacts to humidity, look, I know I got locks. I get it. I understand that, but you have to find something. It could be something as simple as an aerobics class inside of your house. The step stools are not that expensive on Amazon. Like, you can get them for really cheap. So you really have to put a name on it, and you really have to find the things that truly help you combat this season, because it's a real thing. So yeah, seasonal depression, and it doesn't help if you're grieving. So I want to ask you guys, what are you grieving? Who are you grieving? What happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? Are there things in this season that remind you of certain aspects of your life that are just really painful to touch? And if your answer is yes, that's okay, right? If your answer is yes, that is totally fine. I am right there with you. Okay, I want to get into a little bit about it. Grief is been a next door neighbor to me pretty much my entire life, and it is something that you can't put a time on and you don't have the answers to fix. There's no logical way. And I'm an engineer. So if you don't know that about me, I'm an engineer, and I like to fix things. I like to take logical rationing behind or rationalization behind things. And when I do that, I think for this particular season, it's something that frustrates me because I can't fix it. There's no amount of logic or rationale that can fix grief. How I've heard it put, and I think it's a really good depiction, is grief is love with nowhere to go. When you really love someone, you grieve. When you really love something, a life or an aspect of your life, and you lose it, you do grieve. And if y'all hear the noise in the background, it's my little doggy dog. So y'all get to meet him too. Grief is love that has nowhere to go. When someone leaves us that we truly love, that love that we have, it just sits there. You can't give it to them. You can't call them. You can't write to them. You can't go see them. It's a hard thing. I also think of grief as your heart trying to let go of what your mind knows you have to. And I don't know about you all, but me, I could feel something in my heart that I know needs to happen. My mind might have already processed it, but my heart is always the last one to leave. And that's, I think, the hard part of grieving a loved one. You have all of these memories. You have all of these thoughts and these core memories and values that you've shared with this person, and they're just gone. They're just not here anymore. And if you're in my situation where those core memories had just started, it's even harder, right? There's never a good time to lose a parent or a grandparent or a family member, a sibling, a friend. There's never a good time to do that. I think when you have had the time to experience life with someone, I can't say that it lightens the blow because nothing really ever prepares you for a loss of someone you really love. But as an adult, when you have had invested time with a parent or with a friend or a loved one, I feel like you have years to go from versus you're just meeting someone. Like I had just met my daddy and they're gone. So you have all of these unanswered questions. You have all of these things that are just hanging in the balance that you'll never get the full clarity of. It's really painful. And so that's kind of what I want to go through tonight. What do you do? What do you do with that pain? Like, what do you do with that heartache that you have? Because I'm telling you, my father died almost 3 years ago, and I still feel it. It's like the pain is so close. I didn't even want to put up my Christmas tree because that was a significant item when my dad passed. My dad passed on December 28th, 2022. My Christmas tree was the first time I'd put it up, and I had to take it down after I returned from New Jersey from his burial or his memorial. And I didn't want to open the bag to take the tree out. It was that touchy for me. Mind you, as I said, it's almost been 3 years, and I haven't opened that tree in almost 3 years. It was really difficult for me to even sit down and want to make this episode because I knew that it would tug on pieces of my heart that are really still raw. I think that's another thing about grief. It comes and it goes. It's up and it's down. It comes in waves, right? You could be sitting, I know for me, I could be sitting at a restaurant and something happens, or I could see a ladybug. This is the most recent thing. I saw a ladybug on my pant leg in the car about a month or two ago. And I'm like, where did this come from? And I immediately just started bawling my eyes out, like crying like a baby, y'all. Like, I mean, he could cry. And I know y'all know what crying I'm talking about, because I literally saw that as a symbol that my daddy was near. My nickname was Ladybug for my daddy. And it was such a significant thing because my daddy didn't get to raise me. And we about to get into that. But my daddy didn't get to raise me. And so he called me his ladybug. And so I wear a necklace that you can't really see, but it's a necklace of a ladybug. And that is what my daddy called me until the day that he died. Woo. And the grief, it just comes in waves. It's like there's no calculation or time frame for when it expires. And I think that's because our love for these people never expires. I think that the pain that is associated with them, it lingers. It's like a muscle, you may work on your body and the pain might lessen, but does it ever really go away? No. And that's what I feel for people that I've lost. My father being one of the main people that I feel that for. And I know that you all have loved ones. You might have lost your grandmom or your granddad, or a mom or a dad or a sibling. I know a couple of my friends out there. Jeremy lost his brother. My line sister Stephanie lost her mom. My line sister Sejal lost her big ma, who we all held dear. And I know this time of year is a tender time for them. But I want to make sure that I set this straight. You gotta feel this thing. You know what I'm talking about? You gotta feel it. You can't think it away. You can't write it away. You can't sing it away. You gotta feel it. And that was the hardest thing for me to handle grief. Feeling it. Sitting in quiet when no one is around and feeling it. It's hard. It's so uncomfortable, but it's so necessary. They say there's 5 stages to grief. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't really know. I'm not a therapist, so please don't take this as any therapy related talk. I am not a therapist. I'm just telling you what the internet says. Not the internet, the internet. What it says. There are 5 stages to grief. And I don't think that there are really stages or that they're sequential or that they have to go in order. I don't know. I feel like for me, they were all over the place. I know the first stage is denial. I can attest to that. When my father passed away, it was so unexpected, and it was like, there's no way. I was in shock. There's no way this happened, right? I didn't want to believe it. No one could convince me otherwise that they weren't lying. I had to call him for myself, and I called him, and he didn't answer. He never called me back. I think after that, I did get a little angry, which is stage 2. Because I was like, why wouldn't he tell me something was going on with him? Why? Was it me? Was it something that I did? So it was a combination of anger and then also like this questioning of, God, how could you let this happen? Why did you let this happen? What happened? Right? I was living in Oakland, California at the time, and my father was born, raised, bred in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and I didn't have anybody really that I knew in New Jersey. And so I was just like, what do you mean? My 50-year-old father is gone. There's no way. And I got mad. I got mad at God because I just didn't understand how this could happen so close to Christmas, so close to my birthday. Like, why? Haven't I been through enough? So I think I did get angry. I do think I bargained. Like, I thought that if I did all this research and I dug and I dug and I dug, that I could figure out something that would make it make sense. Like something that would give me the answers to my questions. Something that would tell me or soothe me, because I couldn't self-soothe. There was nothing that I did that helped me with the grief. I tell you no lie, I probably cried for 3 weeks straight without stopping. Like to the point where my mama threatened to take me to the hospital to get some medicine because I just couldn't stop. I couldn't. And it's not that I didn't want to. My nervous system was in overdrive, right? Like my nervous system was like, sis, we got to figure out how to fix this. Like your daddy can't be gone. This just can't happen. We just met him. That's my inner self. Like, we just met him. This can't happen. And then stage 4 sunk in. I was depressed. I think bringing in the new year, knowing that I didn't know what happened to my daddy was probably the most depressive state I have been in my entire life. I mean, no questions could be answered. Not that they couldn't be, they weren't. And that made it worse for me. The last part is acceptance. I'm trying to get there because the serenity prayer, right? Lord, grant us the strength to accept the things that we can't change, right? Like, death is not something that's reversible. None of us are Jesus. And Lord knows, I don't think I could ever want to be in my life. There's no way we could raise or retract or redact death. And so you have to accept it. But how do you accept something that is so final? What do? How do you move past the fact that you can't call this person anymore? You won't ever see this person walk through the door and tell them that you love them or hear that they love you. They'll never do any of the things that you've done with them ever again. It's hard. It's a final truth that I personally didn't want to feel. And so I was stuck in depression. And I think this year I kind of spiraled a little bit. And I came to realize that there was something that I had to do, and we'll get into that in a moment, that didn't free me, but it relieved some of the pressure, because pressure busts pipes. I think we all know that. And if you add all of this onto your heart, like, you're not helping, especially when we do have other things that depress us or cause us to have anxiety, or there are other pressures in our lives. The things you can't control shouldn't be one of the things that add the pressure. I saw a video of Cat Williams the other day, and I'm sure y'all probably know what I'm talking about, that he said that maybe you should apply that pressure to God. And that's a real thing. But when you are so covered in grief that you can't see which way is up, sometimes you don't know what the words are to say to God. And I've been there. I have been there. I have stayed awake at night, and I've questioned God, and I've talked to God. And people tell you all the time, you shouldn't, you don't, you're not supposed to, but your relationship with God is your relationship with God, like point blank, period. And God made you, so why wouldn't he want you to come to him in all truthfulness? He knows what you're thinking before you even think it. So why wouldn't you be honest with God about the things that you're struggling with? I am all the time. Lord, why you do this? Please help me understand. I don't understand this. And I didn't. I still don't. I don't understand why my daddy is gone. I've been talking about my daddy for a second. I want to jump into that. My daddy, Jamil Scott, was a 50-year-old man, again, out of Elizabeth, New Jersey. Jersey boy, down to the socks. I love my daddy. I met my daddy in 2015, y'all. 10 years ago, this past September was the first time I ever laid eyes physically on my father. I was 23 years old. He was 43 years old. And it was like looking in the mirror. Like, if you know me, you've probably seen pictures of my daddy. I look like the man. And to a degree, I even act like him. And before I met my biological father, I had a man in my life. Not in my life. Why did I just say that? That's a lie. A man that was around the area that I thought was my daddy. Lord, mama, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Forgive me. Because I'm about to tell the truth on this one. Honey, I just want you to know, like, I love you. But I got to tell the truth, shame devil. So, this man that I thought was my daddy was a crackhead. Crickety crackhead. Tyrone Biggums. Worse than Tyrone Biggums, y'all. Crickety crack. All right? The Walking Dead. And before I met my daddy Jamil, I won't say this man's name because I hope he alive and well right now. But he's still a crackhead. Before I met my father, that's who I thought was my father. And this man didn't want me. He wanted nothing to do with me. He didn't come to any birthdays. He didn't come to any school events. He didn't do any of that. And to add insult to injury, the man was a registered sex offender. He was a sex offender. So he couldn't come if he wanted to because they might have been looking at your child. Y'all, I'm telling you, that was the most disgusting and hurtful thing. You can't even invite him to your graduation because there's kids there. So he cannot be there because there are kids there. So when I graduated from high school, he told me he couldn't come because he had other kids. When I got ready to graduate from college, I didn't invite him because I was done with him at that point. And the reason I was done with him, not only because he was never a part of my life, but because I had seen him in court. I was probably 20 or 21. And we went to court. My mom met me there. And I've had other siblings that I hope are not watching this. And if y'all are, I hope y'all doing good. And I hope y'all daddy is okay. But we went to court. And when we were leaving, this man says to me, "What do you want from me?" Now, wait a minute. You over here looking like the Walking Dead. You looking like death and you asking me that. I don't want nothing from you, sir. But in the back of my mind, I low-key was like, I want you to die so I can get your Social Security. I never said that. Lord forgive me. But that's what I was thinking. That never happened, fortunately, for them people and his kids. You know, I hope y'all daddy all right. But I met a young lady. Her name is Kiera. I don't mind saying her name. I'm not going to say her last name, but she was just the sweetest heart. And I hope you see this, and I hope you know that I'm extremely proud of you, Kiera. But he wanted nothing to do with me. And all I ever really wanted was my daddy. I wanted him to be a part of my life. I didn't grow up with a very male-heavy presence in my family. And so I just wanted my daddy. What girl doesn't want her daddy? What guy doesn't want their daddy, right? And so when I laid eyes on my father in September, I think it was September 12th, 2015, it was like a missing piece of me was found. My daddy was so happy about meeting me. Y'all, he had a party in the barbershop. And if any of his friends are listening, I hope y'all comment and y'all tell me if I'm lying. But this is what I heard. This is what was said to me. My daddy had a party like he was having a brand new baby in the barbershop because he was so happy to meet me. I want to add context. I don't have any siblings by my father. I'm his only child. And he met me when he was 43 years old. It was the hardest thing to grieve the fact that I would never have him see me as a baby, hold me. He never came to any of my graduations. Like, I just had a best friend. And he said to me, "I'm always going to be your father." But the best thing I can be for you right now is your best friend. I can't raise you. I can teach you things, but you are a woman, and I have to respect that. And so he became my best friend. And that wasn't enough, but it was okay because I had my daddy. It was like I finally found who I belonged to. I wasn't just one half anymore. I had the other half. I was a whole. That's what it felt like. It felt like finally I know who I belong to. And he was proud of me. And he loved me. And he was crazy too now. Like, let's get that straight. The man was a little loony. He was crazy. My house, one of my houses in Atlanta got broken into. This is just a quick story, y'all. I'm gonna get back on topic. But my house got broken into in Atlanta, and my neighbor saw that my house had been broken into, but didn't contact me and didn't contact the cops. He said he thought that I had left the door open or something goofy. And so I told my daddy this, and he was like, "What use is he? Like, the insert color black in Spanish needs to go lay down in the ditch and die." And so he came down to Atlanta from New Jersey, and he saw this man, and he would not talk to this man at all. Like, he was like, bad word, you black color in Spanish. He was just like, he was cutthroat. Okay, Jamil Scott did not play with me or anybody else. And if I'm lying, I'm flying. And my big behind ain't getting up out this chair to go nowhere. Okay? All right. So believe me when I say my daddy was loco. I loved him. But he could get muy caliente real quick. He could get crazy really quick, really hot-headed really quick. And he was just a really good man. I saw him come to Atlanta before and give a homeless man all the money he had in his pocket. And he was like, to me, it doesn't matter what you want and what you got. These people right here, you don't know where Jesus could be. You give them whatever they need. He had a heart of gold. He had a heart of freaking gold. And I wanted to see more of that. 7 years just wasn't enough for me. I thank God for those 7 years, man. Like, I think about the people that may not know their fathers. And there are several of you all, us, because I was one of you all at one point. But then there are other people that know they have children and don't want them. And I'm sorry, but that's a tough thing. I've been on that side too. So I can empathize with everybody, whether you have a father or you don't have a father or you don't know your father or your father doesn't want you. I have been in every one of those stages. And now I gotta grieve it. There are things that my father will never get to do with me. Unfortunately, in 7 years, you would say how, but it never happened. I never spent a birthday with my daddy. Not one. He never came from New Jersey to, I was in Atlanta for the most part. He never came from New Jersey to Atlanta, and I never went from Atlanta to New Jersey. And so I lost 7 years of birthdays of knowing him. So I was like a 7-year-old child, basically. I just met my daddy, and I don't get that anymore. I think the hardest part of all of this for me is truly eulogizing the fact that there will never be a milestone that my daddy will catch now. Not in the earthly sense. He won't ever see who I'm going to marry. He won't be here to walk me down the aisle. He won't be here to see his grandkids. It stings. And this is the season of joy. This is the season of our Savior, the one who came and paid it all for us. And sometimes, just sometimes, I can still feel so empty and know that I have everything and still feel like I have nothing. Am I by myself? Am I human for feeling that way? I truly feel like I have everything that God could possibly give me right now, today. And sometimes, just sometimes, I wake up in the morning and I feel so empty. Because the one of the main things that I've always wanted, I don't have anymore. And I'll never have again. And that's tough. That's so tough. So, what do? What did I do? First, you gotta feel it. Like I said before, you gotta sit in it. You gotta grieve it. You gotta cry. And you gotta have a circle that you can trust to do that with. I got a bunch. I'm not gonna say a bunch. I got a good bit of friends. All right. There are certain people I don't call for certain things. And if y'all watching, y'all know this already. I know who I can call when I'm upset, when I'm seeing red, and I hear Nook If You Buck in the background. I know people that I call when I need professional advice. I know who to call when I need to pray. I know who to call. You gotta have people that are sorry. You gotta have people that are willing to be with you in your time of despair. Not only willing, are capable of being with you in your time of despair. You got to. Because if you don't, you're going to feel worse than you do now. So make sure you have a group that supports you, that can relate, that can empathize. We're not all created equally, and that's okay, but you got to know who to go to. I'm a big motivational, like, girl, come here, let me pray for you. Like, dude, I got your back. Like, what you need? Woody, woody, woo. That's me. So my friends know that they can come to me. And I know who I can go to when I feel like that. I know who to go to also when I need a kick in the behind. I ain't gonna say her name, but she probably know who I'm talking about. Okay? It's two of them. And you really gotta understand that God didn't all create us to do everything. And that's okay. But have that group of people around you that allow you to grieve, especially like if you're like me, I don't have any family in Texas. I'm here by myself, right? But I know who I can talk to when I need to talk about this, right? Whether it's a phone call, a FaceTime, or if I'm going to go to take a trip to go see this person or people, I know who to do that with. And now y'all got me, right? So you don't have to do that by yourself, and you shouldn't just sit in it and feel it alone. Because isolation does not equal healing. You can't remove yourself and then expect things to get better. You truly have to open the wound. Open the wound. That's the only way it can heal. Confess it, proclaim it, say what it is, get it out there so you can start your healing process. You also need to go to therapy. Now, I ain't trying to be like that lady off of Pop the Balloon that's like, you got problems, everybody got problems. If you black, you got problems, you need to be in therapy. You know you, okay? But especially as I was talking about in the beginning of this video, if you're in the seasonal depressive state, what's the worst it could do? I mean, truly ask yourself, like, what's the harm in trying right now? What's the worst that could happen? You get healed? You get an epiphany? you feel better and you don't have to go no more. Like, what's truly the worst that can happen if you go to therapy? You got to think about that. Then, I think this is something that my family, bless them, bless their hearts, needs to work on. But allow people to grieve as long as they want to. Now, I'm not saying to their own demise, but if you're grieving and your friend is telling you need to let that go, you need to let they beep go too in the process, because everybody's on their own journey. You feel the way you feel. I feel the way I feel. I grieve the way I grieve. You grieve the way you grieve. We don't all grieve the same. I just said we're not created equally in the sense of how we handle things now. We are created equally. Like, don't get it twisted. Hey, you ain't above us now. But what I'm saying is we're not created equally in how we manage our emotions, how we filter and process our emotions. And that's okay. But to sit here and tell people what they have to do or who they should be and when they should be that person, you should be getting over this, you should be letting this person go. No, I don't. No, I'm not. Who the hell are you? Okay. And on top of that, like, when people try to rush stuff like this, it creates these really bad habits of doing that with other things. Like, they be like, oh, you gotta let him rest. I heard that so many times. Well, he gonna do that anyway. I can't be like, Lazarus, get up. Jamil, get up. Like, that ain't how it works. Like, I can't. He gonna do that anyway. But if I am grieving, that means there is love in me that has nowhere to go. And until I can figure out where to place it, you gotta let me do that. So that could take me a year. It could take me a week. It could take me however freaking long it takes me. But that's my journey. That's your journey. No one can change that. Don't let them. Because people get beside themselves. Sometimes you gotta get them back right. All right? Like, run along. Go play with your mammy, not me. I think the last thing I want to do is say that if you're grieving and you've tried all those things and it's not working, I'll tell you what worked for me. I had to stop, sit down, and write a letter to my daddy. It took me 4 days to write a letter. 4 days. I was stumbling on the words and I was crying my eyes out. And I did this last year. I'm going to read it to y'all. But I was so tender. I don't know why I'm saying that word. I was so tender. I legit did not. I knew that it was something that I needed to do, and I was running from it because I just did not want to face the realization that my daddy is gone, y'all. At 50 years old, he's just not here. So I'm going to read y'all what I wrote to my daddy. Dear Daddy, where do I begin? Can't believe you'll never see this. Can't believe you couldn't hear me say happy birthday. It was extremely hard picking up the pen to write this because I miss you so much. I miss you picking at the way I talk. I miss you telling me to hush. When I said something you knew was true. When you died, I felt like a part of me did also. I feel incomplete without you. I just found you. These 7 years were some of the happiest and saddest years of my life. I only wanted you to be healthy. I wanted you to have a long, healthy life. I wanted to see you as an old man, to see if you'd be telling people that I was your little sister. A young man with an old soul, that's what you were. Some days thinking of you is too much. There are so many memories left unhad. Some days I wonder how you would tell me to handle some of my problems. Some days I can hear your voice in my head saying some crazy stuff and laughing with that crazy laugh. I want to hear it in real time, and I want to hug you in real time. I wanted to have you in my life so bad, but I missed up the opportunity. I was stubborn and you were stubborn. You always thought I wanted to fight, but I wanted you to live. My stubbornness 100% comes from you. And you always said we didn't get along because we were too much alike. You might have been right, but one thing for sure is we loved each other, in your words, like hell. I am so upset. We missed an opportunity that I'll never get again. I always wanted you close, but sometimes deliberately you push me away. I still don't remember why we weren't talking in 2022. I'm sure it has something to do with me talking about your drinking. And I knew you hated me saying it, but I really, really wanted to save you. I never wanted this day to come. I feel so brokenhearted. I hadn't heard your voice in at least a year. And now that's forever. I should have called you on my birthday. I should have called you on Christmas Day, but I was stubborn. I wanted you to fix our relationship this time. And I was and still am so confused why you didn't tell me that you were so ill. I would have done anything to keep you alive. That's what hurts the most. You are stubborn to your own detriment. Why? Didn't you know that there were people that loved you? Didn't you know how much I would have missed you? I missed out on 23 full years with my daddy. 23. There was nothing I would not have done to get 23 more with you. Listening to the doctor say you were in bad shape and she ran out of time to help you. It felt like I would die from that statement alone. This is so hard. I didn't get to tell you goodbye. I didn't get to hold your sweaty hands and tell you how much I love you. Or how much I was going to miss you. I didn't get to say sorry for whatever I said or did for us to stop talking. I didn't get to say I love you. Or hear you say, I love you too, Ladybug. I can literally feel my heart breaking. I know you aren't coming back, and you probably wouldn't want to. Your body was tired. Knowing you were so sick almost made me lose my mind. I keep thinking you were alone that morning in your truck. Were you in pain? Did you call out to God? Did you call out for me? Did you call out for your mom? Did you suffer? Not knowing the answer really almost makes me crazy. It was so sudden, so unexpected, so unfair. And I just wanted God to tell me why. Why my daddy? Haven't I gone through enough? We just found each other. Please, please, please don't do this to me. The biggest mistake we made was thinking we had time to get it right. I wish I could take back the years we didn't talk because of pride. I wish I was there for your final moments. I wish I could have hugged you even the last time I saw your earthly body. I wish I could change so much about this situation. I feel so cheated. 7 years wasn't enough for me. I'm grateful I met you. I'm grateful I knew who my real father was before this day came. I know who my father is. And I really, really, really miss you. Can you see that? Can you stick around for me? I would love to dream of you. You haven't visited me since September 11, 2023. And that time it felt so real. You look so healthy. That's the daddy I will always remember. Healthy, happy, and short. You were a huge piece of my world, Daddy. Even when we didn't speak, you were always in my heart. I just pray that you know how much I loved you before you left here. I loved you while I had you, and I'll love you while I'm here and when I'm gone. Sarah is the number of completion. You were the missing piece that completed your one and only daughter. You completed what God had intended for you to do, I guess. While I'm here, I'll keep your memory alive. I'll let the world know who Jamil Scott was. Daddy, I miss you with everything in me. I wish you were healthy, and I wish you were here. I know you can't come, but please surround me with your presence. I need that more than I ever thought I would. I hope to hug you again one day. And I told you I would let you rest. And I'll try. But just know, I think of you every day. I miss you every day. And I love you every day. Happy 52nd birthday, Daddy. Y'all. Didn't expect to do all of that. Grieve. Do whatever you need to do. And don't let anyone make you feel bad for it. I'm still grieving. I'm still going. And I pray that everybody that's watching this that's still grieving is doing the same thing. Even if you experience loss in this season of joy, Jesus is still the reason. So don't forget it. He'll take the pain away. He'll help you live with it. He'll help you process it. Just stay here. Sit in it and find your tribe. Listen. Whew. After that, I'm going to go ahead and end this one. But I'm so glad. If you made it to this far, thank you so much for watching. I mean, truly, it's a pleasure just to be in front of this camera right now and to share my story. Thank you for joining this episode. This is the kickoff. This is the inaugural episode. So thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. If you enjoyed this episode, stay tuned for more. We have still more stuff coming. I really appreciate you guys for joining. So thank you for joining the Still Becoming podcast. I am your host, Chantel Scott. Thank you, family. Have a good night.